Starting. And welcome. This is the Comic Book G-Spot, Robert Galvin. How you doing? My special guest today, Toro Kubaro.
Hey, what's going on, Robert, man? I'm glad to be here. Having a super duper great time, man. You know, it's the weekend, it's Saturday, and there's no complaints on my part, man. But Robert, man, we got something special in store for everybody today, don't we? So I wanted to ask you real quick. Do you have a Wonder Woman in your life, man?
Absolutely.
Of course. And you
you
know we
you
all
have a
do.
Wonder Woman in your life?
Oh, big time, man. And, you know, the only thing I'm afraid about Wonder Woman is, you know, they have that lasso of truth. So
Yeah.
you never know what that truth is going to be. So here we go, guys. We're going to get into it.
Hey YouTube, Mrs. G here. I want to introduce my fellow Wonder Woman, Mrs. Toro Kubaro, Slim Jen.
Whoop whoop! What's up?
Got your drink ready? Got mine ready? We're taking over the captain's chairs for a little bit, so thank you, Robert. Thank you, Thoro, for letting us get a little time in here. Little girl talk.
Yes.
So, I am not seeing the chat. Are you seeing the chat there, Jen?
I am actually.
I don't have the chat.
Okay, well, I will let you greet people in chat then.
Yes, of course. So we have here BLC. What's up? He's at a barbecue. No invite. And then we got Arsenio, the art chemist. He's up in here too. He said he'll be right back. We got the Uncanny Cow Walker. What's up? We have of course BLC again. We have Bueller. What's up, Bueller? We got Hudat. We got Hudat up here. And yeah, so far those are the people we have. Who else do we have here? That's it.
Awesome. Well, we'll get going here. The reason we're here is we wanted to talk about what it's like living with comic book collectors. So I know I have my stories. You have your stories. We could probably go on forever.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So let's get into this. How about just day to day? How has it affected your life?
Well, I mean, honestly, it can be difficult sometimes, but at the same time, it's fun. And it's, you know, it's heartwarming to see him do the things he does. You know, he's constantly on his phone, you know, dealing with his comic book stuff. And sometimes, I tell him, hey, you know, we're here, we're alive, you know, a woman and a daughter. And, you know, you'll sometimes got to think about it. I'd rather have him doing what he's doing now than have him, you know, spending his money at a stripper club, you know, or he's constantly on his phone, but I know that he's dealing with his comic book stuff and he's not, you know, talking to some little HOE out there.
There are definitely worse habits than being a comic book collector.
Exactly.
I was really surprised. I mean, when I first met him and we first moved in together and all these boxes started just coming into the house and I'm like, what? Wait a minute, what is this? And now in his doing the transition with getting everything rebagged and boarded, it's been a challenge, definitely.
Yes, when Thor was bringing in his boxes when we moved in together, at first I thought those were his clothes, and I'm like, how you pack this thing into such small boxes? And then he goes, oh no, that's my collection. I was like, wow, the baby's room is like, it was completely taken with just comic book boxes.
You could almost build a crib with all the comic book boxes.
Yes, I told him we should have done that.
Yeah, I actually have now gotten to know our UPS driver first name basis, and I actually, when we're expecting a big shipment, I'll make sure that I bake him a nice batch of cookies. It's gotten to be that common.
Yes, we have ours here. He already knows us. Every time he knocks on the door, you'll see him laughing
Yeah.
because he already, we already know it's him bringing us, his Jose's shipping and all that stuff.
My favorite guy is the UPS because he takes care of everything.
Yes, Thor actually chased them down one day.
The FedEx guy, he basically picks up stuff off the truck and he can't handle it up to the house, so he'll meet me at the end of the driveway. So
Oh, wow.
I'm usually, Robert's at work, so I muscle it into the house by myself. So that's been helping with my workout. I can't complain too much.
Yeah, sometimes I have to go my robe to the door.
Yeah. And our regular postal service, I think they're a little frustrated. We have the roadside mailboxes, so they have to actually get out of the car because some of those boxes with the comic books are just this much too big to fit in the box, and they have to drop it off. So she's not too happy. I might have to make her a batch of cookies too.
I mean, might as well build a bigger mailbox. Put like a mailbox right under it, and just a note saying put all the boxes in here.
Yeah. Well, and that's part of the daily routine too. We take the dogs out to the mailbox. It's always an adventure.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I have who dat here saying that, what is it? I believe he was saying something, about getting that he would never get his wife to do a video and everything. I mean, this is your chance right now. If you got your ladies, have them watch this video. We might actually change their minds and, make them say, hey, you can start buying comic books. I won't complain.
Well, yeah, I mean, because of Thoro's collection, so you weren't a comic book collector before you guys met, were you?
No, I had no idea about comic books, nothing.
Yeah, see, I grew up, I had 2 older brothers, and they would look at the more hardcore comics, and I had my uncle's collection of like really old stuff, the Golden Age, the little Lulu and Blondie and Dagwood and Baby Huey. And so, and now we've inherited that collection, and it's so fun to look back on it and just have all these childhood memories, and then to hear Robert talk about his childhood memories. So what was your first comic book adventure, getting into it?
Well, I mean, I used to always, I've watched the movies and stuff like that, and I was always a fan of Harley Quinn. So when Thor, sorry, he got me into it, I started looking at these things, and then one day he took me out to a store with him, to a comic book store, and I saw one of Harley Quinn, and I was like, oh no, if these exist where it's all about Harley, I'm getting them. So, we went, and that same day he had to buy me a box of Harley Quinn so that I can start putting all of my comic books in there. I went into his boxes actually, and I took all his female comic books without him knowing. And then one day he's like searching for one of his expensive female books and stuff. And then he's like, hey, did you take this book? And I went into my box and I was like, are you talking about this book? And he was like, that's my book. And I was like, well, too late. It's mine now. So half of my collection actually came out of Thoro's boxes. So I didn't literally go and buy them, but now they're mine. He can't do nothing about it.
You did do a certain amount of searching, so you do get credit for that.
Oh wow, we have Discovery Bay. Damn, Thoro never looks so good.
That's awesome.
Hey, baby, how you doing?
Buckshot Bill is saying hi to you.
Hey, Billy. I just saw the Hillbillies picture. I loved it.
BOC said his wife would never do this. I mean, get her on the videos now. Have her watch us. We'll probably convince them, that, because, I have seen messages from people saying, if my wife knew I was buying this, I have to purchase these on the low and all these other things. I mean, have them watch this. We'll convince them that it just doesn't work that way. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not just, they say, happy wife, happy husband, but it's also, the other way around, happy husband, happy wife. When I see Thoro reading through his comic books and, when I go to the store with him, going to the comic book stores with him is like him going to the mall with me. it takes him hours in those stores.
Well, that was one of my questions. When you do a trip to the local comic book stores, I mean, I've had friends and their significant others say, yeah, oh, she's going to be forever. I just wait in the car, oh, I make sure my phone is charged. And it's like, what do you do? Or do you go in there to help him with his collection, maybe, or work on your
Yes.
own?
Yeah, sometimes I'll stay in the car because our daughter is sleeping and we don't want to take her out of the car and wake her up because then she'll be a very cranky baby. But, whenever she's awake, we actually go inside and I drive him crazy because if I'm inside the store with him, you'll see me picking books out of it's Batman, all these characters, the Hulk and all that. I will actually start I would start taking these books out and I'd be like, babe, what about this one? Babe, what about this one? So I don't even give him time to look at his own stuff. But yeah, that's what I do, and I'll help him and then I'll pick some books for myself if I really like them. And, he'll tell me if it's worth buying it or not.
Is that better? Is that better now? Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of what I do, but I'm looking at building my own collection. I've had some help to get kickstarted. So my first thing I want to show here is my first slab I actually got from Bueller. See if we can get this without too much glare.
Yeah, bring it a little closer. Yeah, the glare is a little, we have Supergirl.
Yeah. So that's my first, and the 9.6, can't complain about that. Then he also sent one that I really love. I love this cover.
That one's nice.
And a 9.8. So then, technical difficulties. Is this better now?
Is that working now? Now it's back and forth.
Okay.
It should be working now.
Okay, here we go. And my final one, a gift from my husband. Another redhead on the cover. So let's see some of your collection, Jen.
So, as everyone knows, I actually sold the first book I ever got slab. Sean Richards was the one to purchase it. But I have my Harley Quinns, of course. So I have this one. It's a 9.8.
Oh, I love it.
You can see it's a 9.8. I have, these are all Harley Quinns. Of course they are. I have more, but for now we'll show my favorite ones. These are my favorite.
Well, yeah, I got the feeling we're starting something here. So, don't give everything away on the first show.
Exactly. Always. But I do have her number one. It's not her first appearance. We all know that.
Very nice.
And then, of course, these are straight from England. Very rare. I believe Thor actually sold one of these, if I'm not wrong. And then I have the one with color. But of course, I would have to show off two of my favorite. I have, let's see if we can see these. I have my Prince.
Oh, that's showing up nice.
Oh yes. I tell Thor all the time that this is us. This is our life, He says all the time that I'm a crazy woman. So, I started collecting Harley and I told him that's me right there.
You've inspired me. I actually just recently saw Suicide Squad. So and he thought I wouldn't like her. He really thought I wouldn't like her, but I thought it was awesome. I liked it a lot more than he did. So
yeah,
I'm a fan. So that might be my next hunting goal.
Yeah. See, I was blind to a lot of things. I've watched all the movies and stuff, and before Thor came into my life, I didn't think comic books existed because of movies or, the stories are in the books and then they make movies out of them. I did not know comic books existed. And we probably had some, my brothers probably did, but they didn't know that they would be worth money. So, as we moved from house to house or anything like that, they were being thrown away or something. To me, they were all considered magazines. So I would have never known that these books would be worth money.
Absolutely. Yeah, and just Robert's collection has just been crazy. And so now that it's getting all organized, then maybe I might start peeking into the boxes and see what I can find to get my collection a little more of a kickstart.
Yeah.
I do know that another thing I like to do when he's hunting at, we don't have a local comic book store. It's about 90 minutes away, the closest one. So,
oh, wow.
If we go, it's an event. I'm along for the ride, and I usually go focus on the pops. I know you've got some pops there too.
Yes.
So
I can tell you that half of these are not Thoros.
So what was your very first pop?
Of course. I mean, would anyone be able to guess what would be my first pop?
Harley Quinn.
Of course.
Nice.
Of course. This was my number one. And then, can't sip my coffee without my Harley Quinn. Which one was yours, though? Let's see yours.
I started out, and my very first was a couple, and it set me up for a theme. So flip these around. Good old Jack and Sally.
Oh, no.
Had to have them. So that made me start in with a couples theme, which I thought, might be a cute idea. So, of course, I could not get these two, Aquaman and Mira.
Yes.
And then my most recent, and maybe somebody in the chat can help out if this qualifies. I mean, they're in number order. It's a Alien 40th anniversary. Are Ripley and the Xenomorph considered a couple? Anybody want to comment on that?
Yeah, let's see people's comments about that.
I think they are. So that's what I went with for my couples theme. I've got a few more. Had a hard time picking which ones I wanted to show today. The other,
well, I actually got into my collection for Game of Thrones. Got every single one sitting on the throne.
Nice. That's one I need to start into. We were waiting for all of the drama to be over with, and then we're going to buy the entire series.
Yes.
Massive binge, the whole thing. So
yes.
We're only into it through the first season, believe it or not.
Really? You guys have not watched the entire thing?
No.
You need to finish it.
But the winters in Wisconsin are really cold, really long. So I'm hoping that maybe before Christmas time, they will put out a nice box set. We can get it, hunker down on a cold weekend and just binge away.
Yeah.
Actually, it might take a few weekends. That's 8 seasons, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I'll go into the chat. What do we have here? Comics with Bueller. I believe he wrote Pepsi. I think it was based on what I was drinking. I do have to say I was addicted to Pepsi, but I no longer drink soda.
Awesome, me either. My favorite is just plain old water. That's what
Yes, that's what I drink now. Only, I have to have my coffee because of my migraines. But other than that, I'll be drinking water all day.
Well, that's something we have in common too. I have my coffee quota just to keep the migraines in check. So
yeah. But yeah, who else do we have? The Gray Man. He said the winter is coming and the nights are dark and full of terror.
I can't wait. Then I don't have to mow the lawn.
Oh, see, there you go.
Oh, so
Give a shout out to Sam real quick.
oh, hey, I guess Sam's in the chat too. Gotta say hi to Sam. How you doing?
Yes, Sam. Thank you. She said we're killing it. And Thoro's over here. He said his terror's on right now with our little monster. He's over here fighting with our daughter.
It's some quality daddy-daughter time, right?
Yes, of course. I mean, he actually spent the entire week with her. You know, I had a few business to take care of this week, and he was taking care of her in the morning till like around 4 or so. And I mean, he needed a break.
Oh, JD is in the chat also here. So hi,
What's up,
JD.
JD?
So as far as your relationship, has the comic collection changed anything?
No, I mean, I can't say that. I mean, we've been the same way we've been since the beginning. I mean, we play with each other, we care for each other. I mean, none of that has changed at all. Sometimes, you know, he'll notice that, you know, he hasn't been giving me any attention because he's been on his comic books, and he'll drop what he's doing and go and spend time with us. You know, I don't, either way, we worked before and we barely saw each other because of work, and we only had maybe 2 days together where we were, you know, off from work. And being a police officer was hard for us because, you know, if we had court the next day, we wouldn't be able to be with each other because we had to leave early, and it was difficult. And now, I mean, we're both home, so it's like it doesn't bother me at all. You know, he does his videos. You know, I'll go to the room with our daughter and start playing with her, but it hasn't, honestly it hasn't changed anything at all. It's, you know, we've been the same people always, and we try to keep it that way.
That's awesome. Yeah, I just found that it just gave us a little bit more that, you know, we already had a ton of stuff in common, and now it's just even more so. So, you know, as far as I would say, any words of encouragement for other girlfriends, wives out there, it's a passion that these guys have, and it's addictive. It's fun.
Yes.
And there's so many different varieties out there. There you can collect for the art factor. You can collect because you like the story or one particular character that you want to follow. So it's really flexible. You can customize it to what you like, and you don't have to follow your partner's collection. You can build your own and then teach each other about it.
Yes, that's how I started learning about Harley. You know, he actually started explaining to me a lot about her life. And every time, you know, it's amazing with Thor because any book I show him, he knows the story to it already. And for example, when we do our dollar auctions and, you know, he starts taking these books out, I stay mouth open because he would tell you the story to each book. And we've sold thousands of books already. And it's amazing to see that he knows, you know, he knows the artist, he knows who's in the book, you know, he knows the story to it. And I just, every time we're done with our videos, I tell him, I'm like, where do you get all this information? And he goes, that's what reading has done to me. You know, is he's told everyone about the teacher that, you know, told him he has to read and, you know, put him into reading a lot. And he's been reading comic books since he was like, what, 12 years old, right? Since he was 12, he's been reading comic books. So, I mean, when I see him go to the stores, I take books out and it's like he'll tell me yes or no. And I'm like, how do you know? And it's amazing. He knows so much. So now it's like the fact that I started collecting, I mean, I can add that on. It's actually, you know, based on our relationship, it's actually made it a lot funner because I take a book out or, you know, I buy a book and we both get to talk about it. And it's not like I'm sitting here and I'm not collecting or I'm not pretending to be like I don't care, but I do, you know, I care so much about it also because seeing him happy makes me happy. So when I buy a book, it's like I actually get excited. You have to see me when he gets all these boxes come in. Half of those boxes he does not open. I open it. I'm the one who has to look at these books first, not him. And you know, and then you see a smile on his face and he starts laughing, and just, you know, seeing that smile on his face because, you know, his girl is actually part of what he enjoys. You can tell that he's, you know, he's extremely excited and happy, and he starts to laugh a lot. because you know he'll start opening a box, and I'll just snatch that box off his hand and open it myself.
I love it. Yeah. If I am up early and the weather's bad, I make sure to go get the mail and bring it in. And then I just like to pile it on his chair in the living room, wait for him to get up. I will be patient and wait, but then it's like show and tell. And you know, it's a constant surprise of what he's getting.
Oh, he knows he's not allowed to open these boxes unless I'm around. I need to be present because I like to see these books. And but look, we have Bueller. He's like, okay, this is actually a message for Robert and Thorough. Listen up, babe. He's like, is there any way we can just have the two wonderful ladies on this channel from now on? Sorry, Robert and Thorough. It was nice knowing you two. We can make that happen, right?
Yes, Bueller.
Oh, Bueller.
I think we can make that happen. I mean, you would have to give me time to start reading and learning as much as Thorough knows.
He is laughing.
Well, that's exactly it. We are so lucky to have these men in our lives because we have our own personal comic book encyclopedias right at our fingertips. And, you know, we can ask them, you know, I remember weeks ago, just literally weeks ago, baby, what does LCS mean again? But you know, I might not feel comfortable asking somebody on YouTube that, but I can ask my husband anything. And he might giggle at me a little bit, but he's going to give me the honest answers. And
it took me a while to remember what that meant. Trust me.
Yeah. I can trust the information that we're getting is accurate with as much research as these guys do. And all the information and the years that they've already put into this.
Yes. I mean, I hear him say, I used to hear him a lot saying, I'm going to put it in my PC. And I'm like, how are you going to put that comic book into your computer? And then, you know, eventually he started teaching me that it's, you know, his personal collection. And I'm like, oh, okay, now I know.
I'm sure there's a lot more of the lingo that we have to learn.
I have my little brother on. Look at that.
Oh,
yeah, JT. That's my little bro. Well, technically, he's a lot bigger than me, but he's my younger brother.
He'll always be little bro then.
Yes. We have Splash Page Comics. What's up? Who else do we have? Thorough's like, Bueller, stop lying. You know I'm your eye candy.
Oh.
He goes, Bueller's like, I'm proof that you don't need to know a lot about comics to do a comic book YouTube channel. Yes, that is very true. I mean, yes. I mean, I would get nervous, though, to go on without knowing the history and story to a certain book. But it's true, though. You actually can. A lot of people have been doing it.
Well, and plus, you know, just doing the research, taking the time, and then you're going to discover maybe new things. Like one thing I really have to thank Thorough for is he brought to my attention the link between Deadpool and the Ninja Turtles. I had no idea. So now I think, you know, maybe some of my strong female characters might have to wait a little bit because I want to investigate and I want to get back to the roots of that story.
Yes.
That's another question I had for the people in chat. Okay, so the same chemical that blinded Deadpool created the Ninja Turtles, if I got the story right.
No, it's Daredevil.
Daredevil. I'm sorry, Daredevil. And so is that the same chemical that also created the Joker?
No.
No?
Just the Ninja Turtles.
Okay, just the Ninja Turtles. Okay, now we got that cleared up.
Hey, trust me, it gets confusing. And I'm over here, people probably thinking, yo, she knows that stuff. Oh, she's so smart. No, I actually got Thor over here, you know, whispering these things to me right now.
I'm not saying anything to her.
No, Thor's whispering everything to me. I might sound mad smart right now, but no, I'm not.
No, it's all a learning process. But the thing
Exactly.
is that we're here, we're supportive. We want to learn more. We want to share in this part, you know. Also, seeing all the AOKs, there's my other abbreviation that I had to learn what it meant. I thought A-OK, you know, thumbs up, yay, a good thing. But no, act of kindness, that's another level of good things. So it's like,
Yes.
it's been amazing to see his Silver Surfer and Galactus art that he got. Just amazing.
Oh my God, yes, talking about art. He's got a bunch of them here. He has a lot. He likes to collect that, you know, and like you can ask him, he knows so much about the artist and everything. And now that you mentioned art, guys, follow Art Chemist. Follow him. He's
Oh,
got
yes.
amazing art. He's a great person. I mean, he's a great artist. He is. I'm
Well,
surprised he hasn't gotten hired by one of these famous companies and everything. He should be.
well, if we can find, you know, with the guys' assistants to put whatever links in below this video, we can definitely do that.
Yeah. I mean, the art chemist should be going on with Thor soon. I mean, he's working a lot. I know that. But, you know, he goes on. He should be going on with Thor and showing off his stuff and everything. Yeah, my brother's like Slim Jim and Dr. Eve. He's calling you Dr. Eve.
Oh. Yeah, I just have to laugh when he's getting home, you know, late at night. He gets off work at 2 o'clock in the morning after working a 10-hour shift, and he's so excited to get on YouTube and see who's done what. You know, what did Thoro do today?
They look like kids.
They do. They
They
do.
really do.
But again, that just shows the passion behind it, that he could be dead tired, but he's still thinking about his buddies out there.
Oh, yes, he is. So is Thor. I mean, he's always, and you know, I ask about everyone. You know, I tell him, you know, I know Robert Galvin is always hitting up Thor on everything. So I always tell him, hey, how's Robert and his wife? You know, how's the art chemist and his wife? Have they hit you up today? Have you spoken to them? You know, it becomes a family thing too, believe it or not. You know, we may not see each other face to face, but where, you know, we speak on the phone, we see each other on FaceTime and everything, and eventually, you know, we become family.
Absolutely. That was one thing that I wanted to touch on too. I looked up because I hear a lot about community. So I wanted to do a little research on my own. So I went just onto Google and looked up the definition of community. What it's listed as is a group of people living together in one place with a common interest, like a clique or a band. I prefer to think of this as my comic book family, because there's no limitations. It's worldwide. We all might have our different, you know, why we're in it, for the art, for the stories. It doesn't matter. We're all here to build each other up.
Yes.
We're not competing with each other. We're learning all about this comic book world, and we're sharing it with other people, which is, you know, all around positive.
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, technically it is a community. We may not be neighbors, but you know, YouTube is our community. You know, everyone is on YouTube. We're all there, and when we go live, you know, you have people on the chat, and it's like, yeah, it's like talking to your neighbor, you know, in the morning while you're picking up your newspaper, but you're technically on YouTube and you're saying hi to them through a chat or something. You know, we are a family at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And the most amazing thing is when I see people calling him to ask him, hey, do you think it's a good idea for me to purchase this comic book? You know, is it, you know, should I read this comic book? You know, what's your opinion about it? I think that's amazing. I mean, people come to him for so much help, and I don't get upset about it. Yes, it might be, you know, we might be having a conversation, a phone call comes, you know, we have to cut a conversation because he's, you know, he has to take the call or whatever, but it doesn't bother me at all. Like, you know, I actually like that. And, you know, honestly, we don't have friends out here. We like to live our own life and everything. You guys are our friends. You know, we don't get to hang out with you guys, but we get to talk to you guys a lot.
Yeah.
But, you know,
we're in a rural area, and our town has 442 residents. So we're the two that stick out. So it's like we just find other people in these amazing ways. Thank you, YouTube.
Now, when you guys go to the comic book stores, do they look at you guys weird because you guys don't look like comic people?
Yeah, we do get strange looks. And, I found myself getting to a Target, which again is like an hour and a half car ride away just to go to Target. And I get in front of a Pops display. I'm in awe of it. I have to sit down. I'll sit down right on the floor in the middle of the store and start digging, doing my search.
Yeah, it's the same with us. I mean, we go to the stores and people look at us like they don't look like people that would be collecting comic books at all. Or, we're at the pop section. People will look at us weird, like, are these people childish for buying toys? But they don't realize that, we enjoy these things. These things mean a lot.
It's a collection, and it's, time, research, and it's enjoyable to share.
You hear that one over there? She wants to be part of the video.
She's
and
like,
our
hey,
chemist is actually asking about her. Our chemist, she's great. Our chemist needs to come and babysit for us.
Now, one thing I'm wondering, with comic book collecting, and they're talking about everything being online and digital copies, are there any comic books that are really toddler safe? Have they created that yet? Something with tougher pages, but you can still introduce them to some of the, maybe not so violent characters, but
I believe they do though. They actually do, right, Ben? They're not safe. Okay, that's a no.
No.
I mean, they should start doing it because if there's a lot of parents that want to start their kids at a young age so that they can get used to collecting books. I mean, but I don't know what we would be able to do to get this up there so that they can start doing these comic books.
It would be nice though to just, to be able to introduce them early, and the knowledge that's out there that comes from doing all the research and all the reading, starting that younger, and just how much more advanced the kids could be.
Yeah.
And looking at the history and the new stuff that's coming out. And not just staring at a screen.
Yep. I mean, it's like with our daughter, we try to read to her a lot, but we want her to get into this too. We want her to grow up and start collecting. Half of these things are going to be left to her. And, it's like, I believe Thor has said before, we're planning to decorate her room with just a whole wall with comic books only. So, I mean, it'll be great if we can start her at a young age, but if, they're sensitive or anything, we can't just show these things to her.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was wondering, do they have child-safe comics? Maybe that's something we might have to create. We'll start our own business.
Yeah, hey, you heard that, babe? That's a cool idea.
Well, I also wanted to make sure that everybody give us a thumbs up. We're newbies, but I'm having a great time, Jen. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yes. Go and like and subscribe.
Yep, definitely. I also wanted to talk about all of the different fundraising adventures that Thoro's gone on. Did you want to touch a little bit on that, Jen?
What do you mean?
He's got another fundraiser coming up.
Yes, we have another one coming up for it's going to be for St. Jude's. I believe we're planning to do it in July, probably like towards the end or the middle of July. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's like you said before.
We want to get involved in this.
Yeah.
And he just did another fundraiser.
Yes, that was for the what is it called again? Brain and behavior research. There you go.
Yeah. That was awesome.
That one turned out really good for us. That was an awesome one.
Yeah, that was nice. And to see people, to take their time to create these events and giving 100% of the proceeds to the cause. That's the reason to do it. To
Yes.
personal
Yes.
gain, not so much. I like to see if you're putting something out there for a cause, 100% should go to that cause.
Yeah, that is our opinion. We don't like doing the we don't like doing like, oh, we're gonna just do 10%, 20%. No, if we're gonna do something, we're doing 100% to it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, and we're supposed to eventually be having another one too. But this is for a friend of ours. Do you remember what was the name for it? She never gave us the exact name, right? But yes, she lost her daughter last year to, to the misbehaving of two young men deciding to drive at high speeds in a rented car. Yeah, they were being extremely reckless, and we lost her last year. She was only 19 years old, and starting her life. And to lose her that quick, it was heartbreaking. I was actually pregnant at the time, and I was driving when I heard the news, and I had to pull over because I just broke down. I couldn't take it anymore and everything. But yeah, we lost her for the recklessness of, two young guys wanting to speed through a street, taking every single red light.
Oh,
And
it's horrible.
yeah, she was driving with she was on a Uber share. So she was in the back seat. There was another passenger in the back seat, and the impact was exactly where she was. So, her heart was hit it hit her so hard that supposedly she only lasted 31 minutes alive after the accident.
Oh, yeah.
And, she didn't get help on time because the young guys decided to get out the car and just run away from the accident. So, thank God there were bystanders who saw it and they were able to chase these guys down and grab them. But, emergency was because they decided to leave and not call 911. She didn't get medical help on time.
Oh, that's horrible.
So this friend of ours, she wants to do something similar. But she hasn't told us the name of it yet. She's trying to get it started. And eventually, we'll throw it out there for everyone because, we have all lost somebody eventually in our lives,
Absolutely. And yeah, this is a great, family to, come together. And again, a way of supporting each other. And I don't know this girl personally, but I already, want to be involved and do what I
Yeah,
can.
I mean, my brothers, they're saying that he's like, this is a true story that I'm saying. And, he said she was like our little sister. She actually was. She was, my mom actually raised the other two little ones because the mother's a teacher. So my mom was the babysitter for the two youngest ones. And, we've known them for, over 9 years, I think. And, so she became part of a family, sweetest girl. And it was amazing because she passed away. It was my brother's baby shower. And she passed away, I believe it was like 2 or 3 weeks after the baby shower. But she had promised me, and I promised her that she was like, she studied in Florida, and she was like, I need you to do the baby shower before I go back to Florida to school. And I told her, I promise you I'll do the baby shower in July. So I actually I sent out the invitations. And then a few days after sending her the invitation, and she was going to help me plan my decoration. She was going to come over early to help me decorate the house. And, finding out that she wasn't going to be able to do that, it was hard for us. And eventually, when we did the baby shower, we actually did it in her name.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yes, and he's there again. He's like, she was an angel. I mean, she was an angel. She still is an
She
angel.
is an angel. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, going to the positive side now. I mean, guys, go hit that thumbs up.
Didn't mean to get all deep and heavy here, guys. Sorry. I know
Yeah,
you're used to the lighthearted banter of the guys, and here we're getting all emotional.
I know, right? Don't get me started.
Oh, no, I just have to laugh when people talk about relationships and, partners will talk so negatively against each other's hobbies just because they won't take the time to investigate it, get interested, find your own niche. And that's where I'm saying that as wives, there's such a variety out there that how can you not get interested in it, and then to be able to turn it around and have these fundraisers to help other families or help other causes that really need the public's involvement.
Yeah. I mean, the Arcan is like Thor and Jen are sweet people. Thank you, Arsenio. Thank you. You should come and babysit, please.
Well, I want to thank everybody that's been in the chat. I haven't been able to see it here. We're still
keeping track of it.
we're still working out the bugs, but I got Robert over here keeping track. So
And
thank
I mean,
you
I have
for your
to
help
say,
with that.
the Arcanist is another one. I mean, his wife Angie, she actually knows more of comic books than more than him. And she actually collects them herself. I mean, I know she likes horror, what is it called? Yeah, she likes horror movies instead, and we've seen their collections. It's amazing. She supports them a lot. I mean, that's my message to other relationships out there. Get your wives or your female, get your husbands involved in it. It's at the beginning it's confusing. You don't know what's going on. What are you doing? But you start learning, and it actually becomes it's a fun thing to do.
Yeah, it can be a little overwhelming at first. And like I said, I'm just starting to build my collection. And I luckily got to start off with some really awesome slabs that I showed earlier. But
Yeah.
now I think I want to get some of the, what are they called? The reader books, maybe?
Yeah.
The
Reader
trade
books.
paperbacks.
Yeah. So that way I don't worry about damaging the comic. If I really like the story, I can read through it out on the porch with the dogs, whatever, not worry about it getting full of dog fur. And then if I really like it, then I'll start getting those copies of the comics and getting them slabbed.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you now, before I even started collecting or getting into this, I actually started off by, helping him bag and board the books. That's where I actually started. And as I started looking through these books as I was bagging and boarding, I was like, interesting. And that's how I actually got into these things.
Yeah, I promised my husband that when he was rebagging and reboarding his entire collection, I said, "Oh, baby, I'll be there. I will help you. We will sit and do this together." And I was busy crafting, honestly. I was busy crafting. I was right there by his side. He was bagging, boarding, and I was weaving my wire stuff. So,
Yep.
but
I
the
mean,
support was still there.
yeah, I mean, when we do our dollar auctions, people think that, some people have hit up Thor and saying, "Hey, my books came in, everything's perfect." No, don't thank Thor. Half of those boxes are packed by me, not him. Yes, they are. Sometimes, after we do our dollar auctions, I tell them, okay, it's time to start packing some of these books out so we can send them out. And I'll sit down and I start, whichever books don't have bags and board, I will put them in a bag and board. I will wrap them up, put them in a box. And, the only thing he does is write the name and address on it.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, some people just need to involve their significant other and it becomes fun. And, if anyone's watching out there, I'll say it again. I'd rather have my man, doing stuff with comic books than being out there, in a strip club or something, spending his money on what he shouldn't be.
Absolutely. And then, it all just kind of full circle around, your daughter's going to see both of you having this passion for your collections and you're reading. You're reading. It's not all about the movies and all that. Sometimes
I have to admit, I'm horrible when it comes to reading it. I am horrible. I barely have, I can say I barely have time. I'm always either cleaning, taking care of the baby. Now I'm starting some classes and stuff. So when I come home, I literally just want to rest.
Yeah.
And, but honestly, what I do is, I know he read a book. So I'll tell him, all right, babe, so what was in the book? Tell me the story. That's how I learn my stuff.
Give me the condensed version quick while I'm making dinner.
Exactly. I mean, but I did hear him talking about Heroes in Crisis yesterday. And I told him, I was like, babe, give me the entire collection. I do want to read that one. I do. I mean, I heard him saying part of the stories of it and stuff. And I was like, I need to read that book.
It's home. Yep.
Definitely hits home. Yeah, I'll be
Yes.
reading it when Robert's done. So
Did you get everything in your notes?
Roman Curtis said, well, thank you, Mrs. Dora Kibor, for packing my stuff, aka Mrs. Louis Bags.
oh.
So
Well-
thumbs up and subscribe to everybody.
Well,
and everybody
again,
in the chat.
everybody in the chat, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
Definitely a good time.
Did you do it?
We might be starting something here, Jen. I don't know.
I mean, we might be throwing our husbands out of this and
I'm
taking
kinda
over.
liking this captain chair. I think it fits pretty good.
Yeah, this bouncy ball is kind of comfortable. But yeah, I mean, we might be throwing them off. Should we take over? We might have to start doing some reading.
Now wait, you're on a bouncy ball?
Yeah, we're on an exercise ball. That's what Thorough
Okay,
uses.
okay, that's yours. That's not Bueller's blue ball, is it?
No.
I had to ask.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, I don't have the blue ball jar here. Sorry, Bueller. Next time I'll be more prepared.
Yeah, you see, the Archimist does the same thing as I do. He asks Thorough about comics. Or Angie, he hates opening his books. Yeah, see, people want us to take over. The
Oh,
great man said the ladies are taking over. It's like a comic book plot.
it's been located. See, I'm kind of on top of things. The blue ball jar with
Oh, wow.
Bueller. We gotta give him a hard time. We love him so much. We gotta give him a hard time, right?
I definitely do.
Well,
I
again,
always do.
thank you, everybody. A big thank you to both Thorough and Robert for letting us get comfy in their spots. I kind of like it. It's
I'm
a little
liking it.
hot here today, but next time I'll arrange a fan.
Yeah, it is actually hot in here too. I didn't think it would be this hot in this little corner. But
Well,
yeah, no, I want to thank everyone for joining us today. It was amazing. I mean, the chat was going on, the likes, subscribe if you haven't. Yeah, thank you. Slim Jen in the house. Whoop whoop.
and Mrs. G. All right, thank you, everybody, and had a great time.
We got
Bless the G.
Splash. Last comment was, give us the dirt on the hubbies. We gotta
Dirt.
keep that a secret.
Dirt on the hubbies? How about that'll be in our next video?
Ooh.
Ooh, to be continued. Thanks again, Jen.
And thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Mrs. G.
Thank you, everybody in chat, and Thorough and Robert. We love you.
I love you.
Bye,
Bless the
guys.
G.